What if I told you that your next promotion might be the most dangerous thing to happen to your financial freedom? We're taught a very specific equation from the moment we enter school. Good grades equal a good university equals a good job, and a good job leads to a high salary. We believe that the solution to all our stress is simply more. If I just had $10,000 more a year, if I just hit 6 figures, then I'd be free. But there is a silent trap waiting for you at that higher salary level. It is a mathematical ceiling that guarantees you will work until the day you die, no matter how much you get paid. Most people think their salary is the ladder out of the hole. But today, I'm going to show you why your salary is actually the shovel that digs the hole deeper. And if you don't understand the difference between flow and equity by the end of this video, you might spend the next 40 years building a cage you can't afford to leave. Let's look at Gib. Gib is smart. He's 25 years old. He works in marketing. He makes $45,000 a year. He struggles to pay rent, he drives an old car, and he looks at his boss, the director, who makes $120,000. Gib thinks, if I made $120,000, I would save $75,000 a year. I'd be rich in no time. So Gib enters the grind. This is the rising action of his life. He shows up early, he leaves late, he takes on the extra projects, he plays office politics. And it works. 3 years later, Gib gets the promotion. He is now the director. He got the big win. The salary hits his bank account. This feels like victory. The system worked, right? He traded his effort for a reward. At this stage, everything seems perfect. Gib can finally afford the things he denied himself. He moves into a nicer apartment closer to the city to save commute time, he tells himself. He leases a BMW because he needs to look professional for clients. He starts eating at nice restaurants because he works hard and deserves a treat. There's a term for this. It's called lifestyle inflation or lifestyle creep. It's when your spending rises to match your income. But Gib doesn't see it as a problem yet. He still has a little bit left over at the end of the month. He feels successful. He's climbing the mountain. But he doesn't realize he just walked into a trap. Why does this matter? Why isn't this a happy ending? Because Gib has just unknowingly signed a contract with time. When Gib was making $45,000, his cost of survival was low. If he lost his job, he could probably survive on savings or a smaller job for a while. He had flexibility. But now Gib needs $8,000 a month just to break even. His expensive apartment, the car lease, the insurance, the higher taxes, these are fixed costs. We call these golden handcuffs. The stakes are no longer just about getting rich, they are about survival. Gib cannot quit. He cannot take a risk to start a business. He cannot take 6 months off to travel. He must keep the high-stress job just to maintain the life he built. He has higher income, yes, but he has zero freedom. And here is where the math gets scary. To get the next raise, to go from $120,000 to $200,000, Gib can't just work hard. He has to give his soul. He has to answer emails at 10 p.m. He has to miss his family's birthdays. He is trading his most limited resource, time, for a resource that is infinite, money. And that is a trade you will always lose. Here is the twist, the conflict. One day, the economy turns, or maybe Gib just burns out. He hits the dip. He realizes that despite making 6 figures for 5 years, he has very little actual wealth. He has stuff, he has clothes, he has a car, but he has no assets. This is the moment most people break. They realize their salary is a ceiling. Why is it a ceiling? Because a salary is linear income. You trade 1 hour for X dollars. Since there are only 24 hours in a day, your income has a hard mathematical limit. You physically cannot work enough hours to become wealthy if you're only selling your time. Gib hits the wall. He's tired. He wants to stop, but he can't. The big win he chased in his 20s has become the big trap in his 30s. He is running on a hedonic treadmill. The faster he runs, the faster the treadmill goes, but he never actually moves forward. This is where the audience, you, need to pause. Do you feel this? Do you feel that no matter how hard you work, you end up with the same amount of savings at the end of the year? That's because you are trying to solve a systems problem with more effort, and effort cannot fix a broken system. So how does Gib get out of the dip? How does he start the payoff? He doesn't do it by asking for another raise. He does it by changing his philosophy. He moves from being a laborer to being a capitalist. First, Gib freezes his lifestyle. He decides that even if his income goes up, his spending stays exactly where it is today. This creates a gap, a margin. He stops looking at money as stuff I can buy and starts looking at it as employees I can hire. Every dollar you save is a little employee. If you put that dollar into a simple index fund or a side business or a rental property, that dollar goes to work. It works while you sleep. It works while you are on vacation. Gib realizes the goal isn't a high salary. The goal is decoupled income. Decoupled income is money that is not attached to your time. Gib starts small. He takes that margin, that extra money, and instead of a new car, he buys a dividend stock. He starts an online store. He writes an ebook. At first, it pays him pennies. It's embarrassing compared to his salary. But, and this is the key, it paid him those pennies without him being there. He broke the ceiling. The story of Gib isn't about becoming a billionaire. It's about the day his decoupled income, his assets, covered his basic rent. The moment your assets pay for your survival, your salary becomes a choice, not a prison. The moral of the story is this: your salary is the fuel, not the destination. If you burn all your fuel just to look cool driving the car, you will run out of gas in the middle of nowhere. The problem, the flaw in our thinking, is that we value status over liberty. We think, look how much money I make. We should think, look how little time I have to sell to survive. Example 1. The doctor versus the shop owner. A surgeon makes $500,000 a year. If she stops cutting, the money stops. She is highly paid, but she is trapped by her hands. A laundromat owner makes $80,000 a year, but the machines run while he fishes. The surgeon has a higher ceiling, but the shop owner has no ceiling on his time. Example 2. The gym. You can run on the treadmill for 10 hours a day, salary, but the moment you stop running, you stop moving. Or you can spend that time building a robot that runs for you, assets. One is hard work, the other is smart engineering. So look at your bank account, look at your job. Are you building a life you don't need a vacation from? Or are you just buying a more expensive cage? Don't ask for a raise, build a system, because the ceiling is real, and the only way to break it is to own the building.